every time Zack Snyder goes on a live stream of another YouTuber, for some reason there's always drama with it. Last year, before the Snyder Cut came out, when he was on Geeks and Gamers, his live stream, a whole lot of drama went down, and now we got this. It's funny because this wasn't even his fault on this one. But so, Film Junkie, I believe his name is Dave. He does a lot of Snyder YouTube videos, whatever it is, what it is, and they're basically just having a fun live stream, and they had this guy right here in the middle doing a dark side unboxing for this giant figure that looks amazing, or not even figure, it's a statue, and it looks amazing. You guys know I like having collectibles, so seeing that was pretty cool. um it took me a while to find the conversation, but then Zach joins in. It seems like it was out of nowhere. My thoughts are maybe Zach popped because Zach knows Dave. Zach is friends with a lot of like YouTubers. Like I know he knows Film Gub, Tyron Mangus. He knows a lot of YouTubers on the platform. Of course, we got the homie Enosh here, right there. He was one of my first YouTube friends, so it's cool to see him get to talk to Zach, and of course Ray Porter here in the top right corner. But a lot of fans, a lot of Snyder fans, are freaking out. Before we even get to the harsh tweets, let's actually read this. This guy, Ryan, hashtag Moon Era, and his literal username is SnyderCut240, says, imagine having Zack Snyder on stream for the first time in months, and you only think to ask about Superman being in Black Adam, and not at all about Rebel Moon, Twilight of the Gods, and Army of the Dead at Las Vegas. Which I think that's a good point. I think if you have Zach, I would love to ask him about, hey, what is it like to work on Rebel Moon? Can you at least give us a little glimpse as to what this franchise is going to be about? Maybe even some of it. But I would still ask him DC stuff. Like for example, Henry Cavill Superman. That's his Superman, and I would like to ask him. I was like, hey, do you know if he's going to show up in the post credit, anything like that? I would ask him that. But so many people were going all in on Dave Film Junkie. Now I'm gonna make some things clear. I've never watched Film Junkie. I've only seen a couple videos of my recommendations. I haven't watched a couple, but that's at most. I've never been someone who's kept up with Film Junkie, not because I don't like him. It's just that, usually when you find a YouTuber, you get attached to their content for a certain reason, whether it's personality, whether it's editing style. Usually it's personality, but for me, it just wasn't for me. It wasn't never like, oh, I hate this guy or anything. So I didn't even know he was doing this vodka stream until some of the homies at Enosh's group chat let me know that Enosh was actually talking to Zach and Deborah. So that was pretty cool. So to give you a sum up, so of course they were having conversation. Then Zach joins in. I'm assuming a large part of it is because he just wanted to vibe, chill out, do whatever. And they come in, and the first question or they're more just hanging. It wasn't like an interview. It was just more a fun hangout. And one of the first questions is, "Hey, we've heard rumors that Henry Cavill Superman is going to show up in the post credit for Black Adam. Do you happen to know anything like that?" Because Zach probably would know something like that. Because of course, there's a point where Zach was the head of DC, or not the head, but of course the main to-go-to guy who was making the universe. And of course, Zach has made lots of great films for DC. And so the big question was, hey, if have you know anything? And Zach seemed like he was genuine, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't work at Warner Brothers anymore. How am I gonna know? And then they went along and talked about Teen Titans Go, how he was there for the episode, how cool it was, and all that. And Zach even brought up this quick joke of how when they first filmed that was in early 2021, and things have changed massively ever since then. A large part of it is his relationship with Warner Bros. Is almost dead at this point. Maybe not under Zaslav. Oh, well, of course, the major thing is that there was a merger, uh, but they were asking that. And then we get into this question. Dave is going to ask a James Gunn question. Let's actually hear him out.
Did you see when James Gunn showed up on Harley Quinn? Did you watch any of that stuff?
To give you context, so, I mean, I think most of y'all should know by now. I'm not Zach. James Gunn was in an episode of Harley Quinn, the animated series, kind of like how Zach was in Teen Titans.
No, is that right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the difference is Zach had an entire episode based on him, while James Gunn was more just a little cameo in one episode.
Yeah, season 3, he showed up, playing
yeah.
himself.
So he actually had a cameo on the Harley Quinn show. So yeah,
he was recurring too throughout the season.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, he has an interesting relationship with Clayface.
Wait, is Zach muted? I can't hear him at all. I'm seeing his mouth move.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's funny though. It's
Is
hilarious.
it funny? I mean,
Oh yeah.
He's a pretty funny dude. So.
He's a pretty funny dude. He's a pretty funny
done
dude.
well.
But some people are wondering, like a real anarchy. Any Rebel Moon tea? I mean, I know that's what you're doing right now.
Oh wait, they do ask him about Rebel Moon. Why are people so mad? They asked him about Rebel Moon.
Anything you want to talk?
Easier coming.
Yeah.
Rebel Moon, like some kind of. What do you mean? Some kind
Hey,
of
I got a question about Rebel Moon.
Wait, what's happening? What the heck? This is working I literally had to rewatch the stream just to make sure what they said. But I don't know. I guess I'm editing. Something happened. I don't know.
I don't know if you can answer this, but because I've always been curious and I've asked these guys several times. Because
Well, anyways, that's not what we're here for. So that was the quick question. Now, some of you are wondering, where's the controversy? That's exactly my question too. Because after this, TheFilmJunkee was getting a lot of crap. Because he had asked him about, hey, did you see the episode with James Gunn? That was it. It was like a 5-second question. That was really the only question. And there's a lot of tweets. Here's one of them. Try to make Joss Whedon good guy next time. Nothing but clout chasers who cares about some shit YouTube channel that nobody normal watch. Bro, by the way, I've seen this guy so much. I think he's one of the toxic Snyder fans. Whatever. And then we have Joe Costello, who's the one who went most hard. Said, not everyone's a clout chaser. Okay, so basically the question, if I'm trying to remember, they were like, hey, Dave, why didn't you ask about Rebel Moon? Why didn't you do this? Because somebody else asked for him. So I guess technically Dave didn't ask. But then again, someone did ask, hey, what happened with Rebel Moon? All that. What's going on, And so he just responded with, next time he's on your stream, feel free to ask him whatever. And then Joe Costello asked, not everyone is a clout chaser, asking about Gunn to use it as a gotcha against fans that with reason don't like JG or James Gunn. Dude, do you really think Zach was going to say something negative about him? His answer changes nothing. We're not a cult, I mean, I hate making these videos because I've spent the entire beginning of my year of YouTube. I've done 2 entire years of YouTube. In the first year of YouTube, I was promoting the Snyder Cut. The Zack Snyder Justice League is still my favorite movie of all time. I love BBS. It's literally my only laminated poster up there. I love Man of Steel. I even love his outside work with the Legends of... What was that album movie called? I don't know. I love 300. Sucker Punch is the only movie I didn't like, but I quite enjoyed Army of the Dead, although I thought that movie was a little too long. I've spent an entire year, but anytime I dare to criticize the toxic side of the Snyder fandom, everyone freaks out. When I gave Suicide Squad a good review, I had a lot of people on my back saying, you betrayed Zack. How dare you support a Walter Amada James Gunn project? How dare you support the DCU without Zack? Until this day, it is the stupidest, most bumfuck thing I see. Because our fandom should be about unity. Our fandom should be about bringing people together. That's what #UsUnited is. But ever since the Snyder Cut got released, it's just been nothing but let's harass people. Let's treat people like shit because did you forget how the Snyder Cut got released? The reason why the Snyder Cut got released is because us as fans came together and we protested. We promoted release the Snyder Cut so much so to where people who didn't even like the Snyder movies came out in support with us. There were a lot of people I knew that put #release the Snyder Cut and didn't even like the Snyder movies. That's what the Snyder movie was about. But now we're gatekeeping. Now we're just exiting other people who like these movies. Now it just seems like it's just, oh, here's our group. We're going to keep it still. That's not how it worked. If we do that, we're now going to get the Restore the Snyder movement as popular as Release the Snyder Cut. Release the Snyder Cut was a very popular movement. Everyone loved it. A lot of film fans loved it. A lot of film fans were in support of it. Sure, there were some negatives. Of course, John Campbell was one of them and all that. But at the end of the day, the Snyder Cut got its thing done. It got the job done. because we were able to get people who didn't even like the movies to come together with us and to get the Snyder Cut released. Snyderverse, however, is a little different because now what it feels like it's, oh my god, you're not following in line with us. That means you're not a part of our fandom, because I've had actual stupid idiots say I'm not a real Snyder fan, say that I'm just pretending to be a Snyder fan for views or anything like that, even though I don't know what to tell you. I have an entire playlist of Snyder videos. It's the topic I talk most about here because I love this fandom. Love this movement, and we've done a lot of amazing things. And of course, Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to continue being my favorite movie of all time moving forward. But we, of course, have stupid tweets like this. And then, of course, okay, so this was the original. I don't know why Eddie put it in this timeline, but the original tweet was James asking, you have Zack on stream who's in the middle of finishing his 2 Rebel Moon films, and you ask him about Black Adam, and to try to solicit some James Gunn praise from him. Bro, solicit, come on. You're acting as if he grabbed James Gunn's cock and took a picture of it. Y'all are acting like this is something serious. It's not. It was just a quick question of, oh, hey, did you see James Gunn in the new Harley Quinn animated series episode? That was it. That was literally it. There's nothing besides that. I don't get it. And then this is where it went real far. Joe Costello says, by the way, I would never be jealous of such a dumb questions. Laughing my ass out. I'm assuming some people are like saying, oh, you're jealous because you didn't get on the stream. No, there's a lot of, like, I'll say this right now, Sil Abdul, Skywalker, all those idiots. I remember they went out on stream and said, you know, we're not jealous that other people get to talk to Zack Snyder. You know, we're still part of the movement. No, you're not. You're trying to grift off the movement. It's obvious. But it's like, no, you're jealous. If your movement is about this one man and that one man won't even talk to you, you're going to feel jealousy. I personally feel a bit of jealousy. I wish I got to talk to Zack, but hey, I'm not in that position, so I move on. So that's just a beta response right there. But anyways, they really think of Snyder as someone they can use to make other people jealous. If your reaction to a fair criticism about a pedophile is you're jealous, dude, you have zero arguments. You don't care about the artist, but you can get from them discussing. I mean, it is true. The jealous argument is there's usually no point. But by the way, this is what I hate about Snyder fans. There's now this whole label that James Gunn's a pedophile and all this and all that. So the context, and I don't know why I keep having to bring it up because I think everyone should know by now. James Gunn has very edgy humor. He has very edgy humor. And he still does have edgy humor. You can tell in his movies he has a lot of edgy humor. But his edgy humor used to go far beyond. And he made a lot of pedophile jokes. He made a lot of uncomfortable jokes back in 2012. Guess what? He stopped tweeting those jokes. And then years later, it resurfaced. He got fired from Disney. And then he got his job at Warner Brothers. He got to make the Suicide Squad. Then he got his job back at Disney. But now everyone wants to keep bringing up, he's a pedophile, he's a pedophile. No, he's not. And if you say he's a pedophile, then you're just virtue signaling and you're not actually caring about children who are truly harmed from adults committing horrible crimes. You genuinely do not care if you're labeling James Gunn as a pedophile, because if you're smart enough, you know that James Gunn is not based on the actual facts and evidence. If you have real facts and evidence, then maybe my response will change. But till now, there's no facts besides he joked about it. And guess what? Everyone makes jokes. And look, they weren't good jokes. If he had made these jokes a year ago, I would understand. If he had made these jokes 2 or 3 years ago, I'd understand. But because this was an entire decade ago, it doesn't fucking matter anymore. He didn't harm anyone. He didn't hurt anyone. They were jokes. They were horrible, distasteful jokes. But guess what? You have to move on. You have to move on. You can't keep pretending like you're perfect. I guarantee you, each and every single one of you have made horrible jokes. I'll put myself as an example. I used to make a lot of I support Hitler jokes. I used to make a lot of jokes. I used to keep telling people Hitler did nothing wrong. Hitler did nothing wrong. Or I'd say, the Holocaust isn't real. But I would say that as a joke. But guess what? Those were distasteful jokes. Those were jokes I shouldn't say. But that was in the past. The only difference between me and James Gunn is his came out public. And if you're labeling him a pedophile, then you actually don't care about children getting harmed. You're just virtue signaling to your brain dead audience. You're bots. You're all bots in the Matrix. Take the freaking red pill. Right now, this person right here is in the blue pill mindset. They want to label somebody a pedophile just so that they could get their movies released. It ain't that serious. All it was a quick question of, oh, hey, James Gunn and the Harley Quinn stuff. What do you think about that? Most of the time they were asking me, hey, how was it like to be on Teen Titans Go, all that. Those are questions anyone would ask. I don't get the brainfuck idiocy questions. But anyways, Joko Seo said, here's the last comment she puts out saying, some clout chaser defenders are missing the point. James Gunn's inner circle is full of pedophiles. He himself wrote hundreds of pedophilia, racist, and rape tweets. They're tweets. He didn't commit those. And also, where's the proof of the inner circle? Where's the proof? Bring me the proof and evidence, and then my answer will change. But no, because you care more about a movie coming out than another person's reputation, you tend to use this and you say, oh, you guys support this, you guys support that, instead of actually bringing facts and evidence. Anyways, in his 40s, to bring him up in conversations with Zack has double intentions. You have to be naive not to see it. No. The only one naive here is you, Joe Costello. You're clearly a blue-pilled idiot. You're put in this simulation of these toxic Snyder fans. Because I'm going to tell you this right now, and I always have conversations with my fellow Snyder fans. There is a toxic side that has rapidly grown for over a year. Ever since the Snyder Cut got released, it seems like it just grows and grows and grows. The turkey fiasco should have never happened. But guess what? It did. Because this fandom is in such a sensitive position. And then you end up having to suck up to idiots like Sil and Mikey and all that, just because you want the slightest bit of information that gets you the Snyderverse restored. Right now, the Snyderverse fandom is in a desperate mindset, and that's not good. And when you're desperate, you're willing to do anything just to get your goal in that position. And I know everyone's going to say, oh, but he was 40 years old when he made these tweets. Well, you also have to remember the climate back then. The climate back then is edgy joke, edgy joke, edgy joke. The edgier you got, the funnier it got. Remember, iDubbbz, one of the most popular YouTubers around the time of 2016, 2017, guess what his phrase was? The hard R N-word and the F slur. That was his phrase. That was the climate back then. Back then, being edgy was funny. Now, I don't know if you've been on the internet long enough, but trust me, if you were on the internet for at least longer than 4 years, you would know that back then being edgy was funny. And the thing that you also keep forgetting is that happened over a decade ago. Don't you understand? People improve, make mistakes, change, and everything. Even if you're a grown adult, you're going to make mistakes. Sure, those were distasteful jokes. Sure, those were horrible jokes. Of course, no one's saying they're not. But he moved on from them. Why do you think he didn't say them since 2012, 2013, whatever year that was? It's still been over a decade. But y'all are virtue signaling. You don't actually care about children getting harmed. Because this is such a sensitive topic, and this is such a serious allegation, and yet you just want to throw it out there like it's nothing. And literally the only thing was it was a simple question of, hey, did you see James Gunn in the Harley Quinn series? That was it. That was freaking it. It wasn't anything else. That was literally the only thing. And then people wonder why Snyder fans look crazy. Because we end up looking crazy. One person affects the rest of us. But anytime I say that, everyone's quick to say, oh, Isaac, you don't get the bigger picture. Oh, Isaac, those are just a couple of people. The Snyder fandom is mostly positive. That is true. But the thing is, the toxicity is only going to grow if you don't acknowledge the toxicity. If you really want the fandom to be better, to improve, you got to grab the toxicity and throw it out. It's kind of like, I'm going to use this example. I've been using this example for over a year. It's like glass under the rug. Let's say you break a vase and now you got to clean up the glass. But instead of cleaning it up, what you do is you put it under the rug and throw it in there. Now, sure, some people won't be visible. To some, for the temporary, it's going to be a quick little bandage. However, if somebody eventually steps on it, they're going to get stabbed. It's going to fucking hurt. You didn't change you didn't change anything. You didn't give us a solution. You gave us a temporary band-aid, and that's it. But if you do care about the Snyder fandom, then you call out the toxicity. You call out geekosity. You call out Gerald of Snyderverse. You call out Mercury. All these toxic little beta bitches who don't care about the fandom but care about grifting off the fandom. You call them out. Otherwise, you're not doing anything besides encouraging the toxicity. It's insane to me how people ignore the genuine toxicity. Maybe instead of complaining about this, how about go support Project Justice League at 4Nerds Network? Maybe do that. Support suicide prevention. The fandom has done so many great things. Let's continue doing those great things. However, if you want it to improve, you do have to call out the toxic ones. Because anytime I do it, I constantly get berated by, oh, Isaac, that's just a small minority. And then I always get these idiotic responses like, why aren't you calling out MCU fans? Because at the end of the day, yes, I'm an MCU fan, but I'm a bigger Snyder fan. And because I care about this movement, I'm making these videos. There was even a time where I was even scared to touch the topic because I had lost so many of my Snyder fans here on YouTube. I had lost a lot of my friends who were Snyder fans here. I even had somebody literally claim that I'm only using the Snyder fandom for views. It's annoying. It's pathetic. All because I call it a toxic side. But that's because I care more than you guys. I care more than y'all. And that's just the truth. That's the basic, simple truth. If you care about something, then you do your best to keep that something. I don't know what to say. The people attacking Film Junk, I don't care if you don't like his videos. I don't care if you don't subscribe to him. I don't care. If you're mad at him for just asking him about James Gunn, then you're a fucking idiot. You really are. You're brain dead stupid. You're a bot. You just want to be regurgitated what Gerald and Mercury have told you. You're a bot. You're in the Matrix. Take the red pill. Stop focusing on James Gunn questions. Stop focusing on, oh, somebody dared to criticize the Snyder fandom. You're making Jody and Andy look right. You're making Andy Signor and Jody's Corner look right by doing the stupid things that we're doing right now. Trust me, there are far more tweets than this tweet I just saw. Than these couple tweets that I just saw. There are far more tweets. It is embarrassing and pathetic. In fact, I'll say this right now. If you're making these tweets, you're not a Snyder fan. Maybe it's hypocritical of me because we were talking about gatekeeping. But guess what? If you're going to gatekeep, so will I. I'm going to gatekeep the toxic fans. If you're toxic, if you're part of these groups, then you're not a Snyder fan. You're not. You're not. Out the door. You're not a Snyder fan. You can become a Star Wars fan. You can be a Marvel fan. Whatever. You're just not part of the Snyder fandom. You're not. Simple as that.